Spoil mama on the go, lighten up the road, caring heart and bubbly smile, lifting up the load. Sweet and helpful, got that cheer, every friend all year, witty spark and endless laughs, always bringing near. Yeah, then soulless soul, sailing wide, oceans calling true. Travel far, explore, travel far, discover more, seas that sparkle blue. Cruising waves with breeze in hair, trail without a map. Mom and family side by side, take another lap. Oh, my land, take us home where the wild winds blow. From Canada to distant shores, with love will always go. Oh, my land, light the night, guide us with your flame. With your spirit, we are free and never be the same. Family ties that never break, love that leads the way. In your arms we find the strength, rocking every day. Smiles that shine on rainy days, through the fog and mist. In your warmth, our hearts are held. Feel that gentle kiss. Oh, like the land, take us home where the wild winds blow. From Canada to distant shores, with love will always go. Oh, like the land, light the night, guide us with your flame. With your spirit, we are free, never be the same. Mountains high and valleys low, through it all you stand. Anchor strong in stormy seas, steady as the land. Memory of every trip, laughter on the breeze. With you, life's an endless ride, always here to please.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? I know there. I see a couple people in here. Liz and Chris from Carnival Cruise Addicts. Thanks for coming in. I see you have to leave early, so that's love that sweatshirt. That's my first sweatshirt, Carnival sweatshirt I bought, and it's the warmest thing. I was debating on taking it off, but I won't do that right now. Yeah, I have two Carnival ones. One's a zip up and just the pullover from my first cruise. And since I'm going to talk a little bit about the islands, so I thought, and about Gabby, so I thought, well, I'll wear my Carnival Horizons. Yeah, so you get to leave early, so I have a little quiz thing. I'll get into that pretty quick, and then because I don't know who's going to come in, who's not. I know a lot of people are busy. A lot of people are going to Helen or on their way to Helen, whatever. So I will go to the quiz first. If people come in, they can join in. Get it on the replay. See if you can figure it out before I give the answers. And I know you've been to 2 out of 3 of the islands, if I remember right. I've been to 2 out of 3 as well. Yeah, everyone on the way to Helen. Hope we all don't have FOMO. One of these years I want to get there, but it's just not this year. So I will bring up. Let's see. I gotta go back to share screen so I can go find the quiz. And this one. Share. Go to present. And then I can come back. Okay. Make sure it's there. Oh, by the way, Liz and Chris, I watched your Cozumel video today. That weather sucked. So, the next Helping Hands cruise is the Carnival Horizon with Gabby going to the ABC Islands. So we're going to just see how well we know our ABCs. Yeah, you didn't look good on that one. And the weather sucked in Cozumel. So that's kind of like the weather here today. The weather here today sucks. So how well do you know your ABCs? First question. What are we referring to when we say ABC Islands? What islands are we referring to when we say ABC Islands? And since I'm over on this presentation, I will just, yep. Both Chris and Liz say Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Let's see. Yep. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And I know you guys been to 2, right? I've been to Aruba, Bonaire, and I think you guys were Aruba and Curacao, if I'm not mistaken. So do you know which one of these islands is referred to one happy island? Liz is saying Aruba. Chris is saying Aruba. One happy island. And that's me back in 2022. We had been out, come back in, and a few of us went back out just to take pictures of the ship in the evening. But do we know what is the largest animal in Aruba? And I just went by questions I found online. A few things I knew, but I went by what was online. What is the largest animal in Aruba? And funny, they weren't native to Aruba. They were brought in. Chris says donkey. Liz says jackass. Yep, donkeys. They're not native. They were brought in by the Dutch. I probably shouldn't have said that right now. It might be given away in a future answer. How many blue horses are there in Aruba? Yeah, same. One and the same. I would have liked to taken time to go around and find all these horses. I found one. A picture of one, I just flipped it. Or I don't know if people have noticed the blue horses. I don't know if I wrote that stuff down about it. There are distinct blue horse sculptures around the island installed in 2015 by a local artist. Liz says 8. Chris says 9. Liz was right. I've seen this one. No, I didn't see this one. I have a different one. But it's in a video. I don't have a picture of it on this computer, so I went to find this one. What is Aruba's national symbol? This was one of my favorite pictures I took of the horizon when we were in port in Aruba. No idea? I like the spot in port too because somebody was saying you can't swim near the ship, but this, where this dock is, it's kind of surrounded, so you can't get up by the ship. Jack. Well, I just luckily seen one of these symbol. Oh, it's like, what's Aruba's national symbol? Often seen in the wild. I didn't see it really in the wild. I was walking back to the ship. It was a bunch of seagulls. They flew away. And this guy was standing there looking at me. And luckily I had a good camera, so I zoomed in on him. He was pretty good size. He had to be like about 3 feet long from nose to tail. He was just walking along, turned and looked at me just when I went to take the picture on the big camera, and I was like, cool. I was watching a interesting video on the channels I follow out of Florida when they had that cold snap there and all the iguanas that had fallen out of the trees. I heard about falling iguanas and never seen them, but these people had video a whole bunch of them. What is Bonaire best known for? Something I've never done in Bonaire, but I know my cousin and his family have. Bonaire, they did the same thing in Belize. And they go down to some of the other islands to do the same thing. It's a diver's paradise. And they say it's the shore diver's paradise, but it must be stuff closer to the shore. Probably snorkeling too, because, being able to get down and see that. I learned that all of the shoreline is protected. Could be a gangster's paradise. I was kind of reading up on some different things. Hey, Roxy. I was reading up on some things they were talking about being located so close to South America. Does anybody know why the buildings in Aruba and Curacao are so colorful? What's rumored to be the reason it's rumored to be why the buildings are so colorful in Aruba and Curacao. I think they are in Bonaire too. Yeah. Because when we were doing our little yeah. So that's part of it. This is what it was read. It's been said that in the 19th century, it was done to alleviate a governor's migraines due to the sun reflecting off the white buildings. I read something similar to that when I was in Bonaire, I think it was, when I was waiting for them to get off the ship. And it's part of the, due to, they also evolved from the Dutch colonial architecture as well. But that was back in the 19th century, and they just kept on doing it. And I think it's cool to see all the different colors. Sure, maybe for some reflection. Yep. True or false? The ABC Islands are located outside the hurricane belt. True or false? They're both saying true, and it is true. They're located below what typically the hurricanes come in, and they're kind of, because they're so close to Venezuela there. Like someplace I know. Yeah, I've been on 2 out of 3 cruises. I've cruised like within a week to 2, maybe 3 weeks after a hurricane's gone through. One after Hurricane Ian, and on the horizon was just after Hurricane Ian, and on the breeze was just after Hurricane. Yeah, it's gone on my head. Starts with M. 2 years. That's good. It'll come. Milton. Below the belt. In Bonaire, what are the pink and white mounted landscape features? Can't talk. In Bonaire, what are the pink and white mounted landscape features? Liz and Chris are both saying salt. That is correct. There's the salt flats here, and they look pink because of microorganisms in the water and the salt there. And then as that dries out, then it's all mounded up. And then I don't think I have it in here, but I've had other pictures. There, right at the base there of the I'll put it right there. Right at the base here is the beginning of the salt elevator that goes over the road and out to where they loaded on the ships. Which famous bird species breed in large numbers on Bonaire? Which famous bird species breed in large numbers on Bonaire? Liz is saying from flamingo. Chris is saying flamingo. Caribbean flamingos. And we took a golf cart tour on the south part of the island, and there is a flamingo sanctuary there, and there was hundreds of flamingos. I just luckily brought my good camera that along with me, and was able to zoom in and get a couple good ones, including this guy. He had the leg up in the perfect pose. Other ones tended to bend over when I went to take their picture. And Caribbean flamingos, up to 3,000 pairs of flamingos breeding in Bonaire. That's a lot of flamingos. What is it illegal to wear in Bonaire and many Caribbean islands? And anybody watching on the replay, if you don't know the answers to this, just learning a little bit, because this one is important. Hey, Scrow's Nest, welcome in. Yes, we got camouflage, camo. Yes, camouflage is reserved for the military or police, and you could be arrested for trying to impersonate an officer or impersonate the military. So don't wear camouflage. At least don't wear it off the ship. Camel toe. I have your. I moved your flag over the side. I've been rearranging and trying to declutter stuff. So still up there. Carnival Cruise Addicts mug still up there. True or false? There are no fast food chains in Bonaire. I'm chopped liver, Randy. I got everybody's stuff up here. Scrow's Nest here, Carnival Cruise Addicts there. They're also on Magnet over here somewhere behind me. Up there, right there. True, true. Yes, the answer is true. There are no fast food chains like McDonald's, KFC, or Starbucks on Bonaire, according to the information I've seen. They try to keep it to local cuisine and stuff and buy local. Here's another one. This one should be pretty easy too. Do turtles nest on Bonaire? Randy's saying yes. Roxanne's saying yes. Liz is saying yes. Chris is saying no. Yes. Hawksbill, green, and loggerhead turtles nest in Bonaire and some of the other islands from approximately May to December. In one of my videos from back when we did the Bonaire excursion, there I have a picture of it, but it's on my other computer. I don't have it on this computer, so I couldn't access it. You just wanted to be different. That's okay. You are a little different, Chris. Still love you guys. So given something we've seen already, what do you think is an ideal product to purchase in Bonaire? Something I wish I'd got, but I forgot to look for it. Turtle burger. Yeah, I don't know. They had some interesting local cuisine things I didn't put a question in about, but yeah, salt products. We go off the ship and go down a little ways to the left on that road there. There are a couple businesses that have salt products. And there was one a couple streets over, but I couldn't find it yesterday when I was looking through. Everything from like your cooking salts to your like bath salts or other type of natural salts for bathing or spa type treatments or whatever. Not the bath salts that are illegal. Yeah, we got off the golf carts, went back to the ship, and I realized after we're back on the ship that night, I wanted to go because I had got a thing from the shopping guide that showed where the places were to buy it, and I totally forgot. Okay, where are we? What is the best time of year to go to Bonaire? What do you think would be the best time of year to go to Bonaire? Might be a better idea. Let's see. Nope, I didn't go during that time. Liz says anytime. Chris says December. Randy says not the summer. I'm not sure I would want to cruise during the summer. What information I found said December to April. So starting in December and going till around April, which is when this ABC cruise is going. And these triangular things, there's different colored ones along the island, and those are indicators to the ships that come to get the salts, which area to go to, because that depicts different grades of salts. There was a white one when there was an orange one. I think there was a blue one close to the green or to the salt elevator, and the other side one had a rainbow colored one on it. I don't know which one means which. This one was close to. There was slave huts there from back in the day where the. If you check out my Bonaire thing, you can see all those pictures. I just don't have them on my computer. It's pretty colors. What is the national animal of Curacao? We were there in July and are miserable. Okay, bye, Liz and Chris. Thanks for coming in. Well, I know in 2019 I went to Cuba, and they said the best time to go there, which, you're still down in the Caribbean, it was don't go between May and October, November, because it was hot, too hot and too humid. And Randy saying flamingo. Yes, it is the flamingo. I've got 4 more questions. What is the national drink of Curacao? Just doesn't give it away. I think we have a part bottle downstairs. What is the national drink of Curacao? Surprising, the coloring is food color because it's made from dried peel of citrus fruit grown there. National drink of Curacao. Of course, it's blue Curacao liqueur. And there's lots of drinks made from blue Curacao liqueur. What is the main sport in Curacao? What is the main sport in Curacao? It's a sport where a lot of players that play in the U.S. come from the islands. Randy says soccer or baseball. According to what I read, they said baseball. I know it'd be a lot of ball players come up from like Puerto Rico or Dominican. I've seen them practicing when we were in Dominican. What country does Curacao belong to? What country does Curacao belong to? Randy's saying Netherlands. Curacao, as well as Aruba, are autonomous countries of the Netherlands. They have their own parliament and prime minister. Bonaire is a special municipality of the Netherlands and is subject to Dutch law. And last question. Where's Curacao located? You can't see the map there. Where is Curacao located? And this is the only one of the ABC islands that I have not been to. So hopefully one day I get on a cruise that goes to them again, because I would love to go back to Aruba and Bonaire and finally go to Curacao. Randy says north of South America. Yep. Between Aruba and Bonaire, which is funny to call it ABC Islands when actually it's ACB is the order, and 40 miles north of Venezuela, which is South America. So it's north of South America. And that, I think I put one last slide. Thanks for participating. Hope you learned a little more about the ABCs. If you didn't learn something, thank you for coming in and sharing what you know. Okay, I just got rid of that. And I'm going to get back to StreamYard here so I can, there we go. And now it's going to be fuzzy. Come on, don't be fuzzy. I hate when it does that. Oh, it's going to be that way. Okay. Anyways. So, coming up in April, I'm going to be doing a book club, and I got my book in. So, if you're checking out the replay, book club's going to be on Be Your Own Bestie, a no-nonsense guide to changing the way you treat yourself, because this year I'm focusing on kindness, including being kind to myself. It's written by Misha Brown. And it also comes out in an Audible book. So, anybody wants to join in the book club? You want to either, I should say Audible, an audio book. You can look into that. Be Your Own Bestie. I'm going to have a short out on it, so you can check out the short on the back. The publisher is Hay House USA. And it's written by an entertainment powerhouse, influencer, podcast host, and performer who shot to spotlight on TikTok the viral lessons of not crossing a gay man series. But this person has got a beautiful voice. I've watched her TikToks. I've watched the videos on Facebook. He's talked about stories, and he knows how to put a person in their place. So it's like, when I started listening, because he would say exactly what he thinks. And then, so we're starting at the beginning of April. ABC Islands are great unless you're there in July. I don't plan on going in July. I would probably go I would say late fall, early spring, maybe. So also, I'm going to drop the link in here. Copy. and go here. Nope, not that one. Over here and paste. Last Thursday, I did an interview with Gabby, who is the recipient that is going on the Carnival Horizon on the ABC cruise. So I'm going to share the link there. Anybody wants to go check out that video with Gabby. And I did a little video for an intro with some music from Suno. So if I can find, oops, I'm going to share that screen. I'll share that video real quick. It's only a couple minutes long. And Windows. That one. Share. Oh, if I can bring it back up big. You don't have to look at me. Full screen.
Suitcase clicking on the pier, sunrise painting every pier, postcode, Gabby laughing at the waves, salty hair, that carefree face, little sticker on a bag, helping hands for cruising in blue, every wave that lifts the boat feels like it's lifting her too. Gabby on the horizon, chasing turquoise, chasing blue. Aruba in the distance, morning coming into view. Curacao is calling, every color shining through. Helping hands for cruising, put her dreams on the water too. Deck chair, paper bag, barefoot toes, ocean wind playing with her clothes, names of islands on her toes, like a song she's always known. She points out a patch of reef, says, that's where I'll float all day. Every mile that ship rolls on takes one more worry away. Gabby on the horizon, chasing turquoise, chasing blue. Aruba in the distance, border coming into view. Curacao is calling, every color shining through. Helping hands for cruising, put her dreams on the water too. Hey.
And that's just a little sample of the song I made on Suno to kind of go with the intro to the interview. So I just wasn't jumping into it. Check out the interview. It's just under about a half an hour. I had almost an hour's worth of footage that I had to edit down to, but she's really excited about going. Her and her mom getting away. She's excited to go on the boat. She's decided. Yeah, they were calling it a boat. I wasn't going to correct them because it was easier for her to say boat. So, but they're so looking forward to going on this cruise, and she's excited, and she loves music, she loves dancing. So I gave her a few tips and stuff, and we got check out what she likes and what she doesn't like, and if anybody has any suggestions, they can leave a comment below the interview to give them some suggestions of what to do or place it. If you've gone to Aruba, Bonaire, or Curacao, what are good excursions to go to, or things you think they shouldn't miss out on. The interview is on the Helping Hands yeah, YouTube page, YouTube channel. It's been a long day. And speaking of helping hands for cruising, we do have a Dreams in Motion Spring Fling coming up in April, the weekend of the. Oh, jeez. I thought I wrote it down on my paper. Let me just flip over my calendar here. The weekend of the 24th, 25th. So if anybody watching this wants to help out, let me know. And I can pass the message along. And we're looking to help other people get on a cruise too, because we have another big one coming up in 2028 that we want to put first responders and veterans on. And we would like to put more than one or two on that. So that's where we'll be spending time in between now and then trying to raise the funds. And if you know anybody that can do sponsorships, let us know that too. Any little bit helps. And I know there's some exciting stuff coming up. We have a meeting on Saturday. There's been a couple exciting things that have happened this past week, and I can't wait for you guys to find out. There has been a little advertisement coming out for the Spring Fling. I just couldn't find it. Scotty J did a little advertisement for the Dreams in Motion. Spring Fling, as we're calling it. I have the picture somewhere. I should have brought it up, but I will share that out next time. What else? What else? How you guys been doing? What else have we got coming up? At the book club. Late April, early May, we're going to do a challenge. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Next Thursday is 2 days after. 2 days? 2 days or 1 day? 1 day after my son's birth. My young son's birthday. Okay, thanks for coming in, Randy. Great to see you. Stop by anytime. You're welcome. Now my baby turns 28 next week. Anybody that's on my Facebook, I've been started changing the profile pictures to the pictures of him as he's growing up. But 28. Going to be making that chocolate cake that I did the other week, the flourless one. I got him a cake it'll be my son and his girlfriend, my oldest, my middle, and his partner, and me. So there'll be 6 of us. I can't have the cake that I bought them. I bought them a small cookies and cream cake. So I'm going to make the chocolate one for me and do what I did last time. I cut it up into individual portions, put it in the freezer, and then when I felt like something sweet, I took it out. So, yep, chocolate. I'm doing the chocolate cake. They have a cookies and cream cake, and I'm making lasagna for Sunday for dinner. So we'll see Sunday, maybe Sunday when I'm prepping stuff. I will maybe I'll go live. Cookies? Yeah, cookies. I picked up cookies today. I picked up a bunch of stuff for them, but everything I picked up that was good and sweet was not gluten-free, including wagon wheels. I don't know if you guys have wagon wheels down there. It's like 2 cookies with marshmallow and then chocolate. Hey, Scotty J. Hey, I was just talking about you. You must have heard me. I was talking about your Spring Fling commercial. And Annie. Everybody's coming in now. How's the weather? Wet. It started just around noon, and it's just been pretty steady rain. It's supposed to keep raining. It says cold weather. I think it was 2 degrees Celsius before I went live. Ryan and Mel just ended. I know Roxy was live earlier when I was getting ready to go on, so, and I know a lot of people are going to Helen or at Helen or whatever it poured down there this morning. Going to Helen tomorrow morning and have to pack soon. I've been trying to downsize stuff here, decluttering stuff. I found some interesting things. Also, kind of trying to reorganize some of this. Took some of the stuff off. I'm trying to reorganize that. Still got more stuff to do. I did the shelves underneath, but I found a lot of interesting things. Cleaned out my desk. I found a thing of my son's ADHD pills that was 10 years old. Yeah, Spring Fling, y'all share it out to contact Mike Land to get your time slot for the event. Yep. The weekend of the 24th, 25th of April. Busby, did you find your chickens? I hope they didn't float away. I think you. I did. Oh, it's exciting, Busby, because I've seen you've been able to comment on my videos finally. Which I was excited when I seen comments on the videos. Because I did the special one for you when I was in Miami, and couldn't believe the number of roosters and chickens around Miami and Grand Cayman. They were all over the place. Some of them, yeah. I'm glad it's at least working for some. But anybody came in late, we did a quiz on ABC Islands, that is. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, because the Helping Hands cruise that's coming up is on the Carnival Horizon to the ABC Islands. I got my Carnival Horizon hoodie on. And Gabby is all excited about going on that. She can go back. Oh, no. Find the right tab here. I can pin that link to the top there to the video interview I did with Gabby and her mom. It was interesting, Buzz, because I didn't notice it on the other islands, and I didn't notice it in Miami last time I went, or when we first got there before we went on the cruise. But we're on the cruise, and we were Grand Cayman, and it's like walking around the port, and there's chicken. There's another one, and we got on this bus. Well, it wasn't much bigger than a minivan, down to 7 Mile Beach, and we're walking from the road back to the beach, and it's like there's a chicken and a rooster and a chicken, and then we get back to Miami, and it's like there were some around the hotel, and when we had to leave 3:00 the next morning, there were crowing at that time, and then we went down to Little Havana, and there's all these huge rooster statues. So I was like, never looked up the significance, but there was some pretty cool ones. She was really excited, especially about music and dancing. Yeah, there was tons. Like when we went down for Kenny's cruise in 2022, we were this time our hotel was southeast and side of the airport. The time before we were kind of north of the airport, and where we were, never seen chickens or roosters there. Seen a couple ducks. Of course, it was raining at the time too, but that time there was all kinds of little tiny lizards going around, and I was hoping to see going down this last time. I was like, oh, I'd like to get a video of those little lizards again. Not a one, and if they had been around, the chickens would have probably ate them. But anyway, I'm excited for Gabby. I'm kind of jealous because I would have. It's on my dream up there to go back to the ABC Islands. Hopefully, I was hoping to be Carnival Horizon, but Carnival Horizon is going to be moving over to Galveston, I think next year. Oh yeah, right. You were lurking and doing your Lego. What was your Lego of? You forgot. Hello, Scott. Welcome in. We're just talking about the ABC cruise coming up for Gabby on the Carnival Horizon. We were talking about the ABC Islands. Getting excited for her. So, yeah, I would have loved to have been on that cruise, but yeah. I'll send it to you. I took a pic. Okay. I was curious because you like the Lego, and I see Lego, and I'm thinking, well, wonder what Danny's working on, or wonder if Danny's done this one or that one. I like the flower ones or the succulent ones. I wouldn't mind getting those and doing them for myself, but I'd have to clear off space on my shelves back here. Yeah, I haven't been to the ABCs in a very long time. Okay, I'll check that out afterwards, Danny. It's hard to believe it's been 3.5 years since I was down there. So that's interesting. My chat's behaving tonight. We'll see if I can see the picture that what Danny is doing Lego of. Oops, wrong spot. Try again. Oh, that's pretty. I can see too well there. Looks like a Japanese garden. That's really pretty, Danny. Yeah, like something like that. Wouldn't mind doing, but chickens in Miami are mostly from immigrants that brought them over from Latin America and Cuba. I wouldn't be surprised. I know when I was in Cuba and we were taking the bus back to the airport, because I didn't see it going from the airport to the resort because it was middle of the night, but when the daytime going back to the resort, and all these animals wandering around. You might see the odd cow or horse tied up, but chickens and dogs and cows and all that just kind of wandering around. You're doing the tree when the cat scared the poop out of you. Now, I do have a video on my last day of in Cuba, going back to the airport, and I think there was a couple spots you could see a couple of the animals. So if I won the lottery, that I would prefer to be cruising to the Caribbean. Although one of these times I do have to go to Alaska. But if I go to Alaska, it's probably going to be an NCL. It won't be Carnival. Just I like the setup. There's an oryx wandering around Tennessee as we speak. Oryx. What's an oryx? What's an oryx? I can look at it. Oh yeah, I seen you shared or posted a picture. Jumanji coming to life. Yeah, it looks like kind of like almost like a gazelle type of thing. It was kind of big goat. Oops. Now those. Well, the things that are going on, it seems like Jumanji coming. And Danny's asking how Busby's dog Oscar's doing. Oscar Mayer Wiener behaving himself. I wonder how that animal is still alive. I'm not going there. I'm not touching that because too many people I know have lost theirs, so I'm not touching it. Is Scott still lurking in here? Scott, are you going live tonight or at 9? Hello, Marjorie. How are you doing? Have you booked any more cruises? Yes, he is at 9. You can drop his link if you want. Oh, Captain Billy. Oh, right. I seen that. Captain Controversy and Captain Billy J. Battles of the captains. 3 trivia's 2 captains. Well, you know what's going to happen. Billy's going to say it's rigged. Yeah, Scott's lurking. Okay. Well, if you didn't see the pin thing for the Gabby's interview, where you can go to Helping Hands and watch that, and I'll pin Scott's link to the top there. And back to StreamYard. You can't play. That's a good way of that's a good way of keeping them from saying it's rigged. I did ABC Island questions. I wasn't so much looking too much into trivia tonight, but it was something I had started last week, and then I forget what came up last week, and I ended up Scott's like magic. You say his name and he pops up. Well, I've had 2 Scotts in here tonight, Scott and Scotty. Scotty J and Captain Controversy. It was like before, I used to get the Troys popping up, but don't see them too much. And I know one Troy and Sandy are on a cruise right now. On the NCL Prima again. I got to see it from a distance when we were in Grand Cayman. It was like, there it is over there. And Troy and Sandy were on it, but I didn't run into them in Grand Cayman. I think because they went on an excursion. Looks like a nice ship. It's got the bow is a little different. The most cruise ships curve in like this. The Prima kind of comes out. I wouldn't mind. I'm looking at the few different NCL ships layouts of that. Prima looks interesting. It just the only thing it looks kind of weird is like their buffet is like half the size of the one we were on the Encore, but they have this indulge food hall. Then you can go in and they have a tablet. You can sit at there's like 5 different restaurants. You can sit at the bar there and order from that restaurant, or you can go to one of the tables and on this iPad you can order something from that one and something from that one, something from that one, and then they bring it right to the table. That looks kind of cool. And it's included. You have a 3-day cruise for Norwegian Joy in December 2026. Nice. Where is it going to, Marjorie? I've just looked at a few because it's still not known yet. Pretty sure the next Helping Hands one, the Heroes Cruise, will be an NCL ship. But we don't know the ship. We don't know the itinerary because they haven't come out with the itinerary for the fall of 2028 yet. They only have itineraries out up until April of 2028. So I've been checking out all the ones to compare them. I enjoyed NCL. We talked about cruises last week, didn't we? I enjoyed NCL. I missed a few things that were on Carnival. I find Carnival, seen more of the cruise director. The deck parties I like better on Carnival. I miss Guy's Burger and Blue Iguana. And I miss like the main dining room where they have the singing and dancing and all that to the servers. I enjoy that part on Carnival. The main dining rooms on NCL were very subdued. I was like, okay, it's fancy, like a fancy restaurant. You come in, you eat, you leave. But the food was good. I want to say on NCL, I had at least seen my room steward. My two Carnival cruises, I maybe seen the room steward once when we got on the ship and never seen them again. And our room steward on the NCL, Daryl bent over backwards. It's like, do you need anything? Can I get you anything? Do you want this? Do you want that? We inquired about laundry, and he came in and he brought the bags in. And he goes, "Is this much?" And next morning, we got breakfast. We came back, and our clean laundry was on the bed. And I was like, "Well, that was kind of cool." Folded and on the bed. I gave him a wristband. Went by and sat one of my ducks on his cart, and he was all excited about that. And then when we left, I had taken a box of the Canadian chocolate bars, the Arrow, Kit Kat, Smarties, and Coffee Crisp. I'd taken a box of those to give away. Well, I ate a few of them, and I gave the whole rest of it to him. Here, have it, share it with your friends. I don't care. But I think on the video I shared, I definitely have. That was a video of the last day of the cruise. I definitely have a picture of Daryl in it. And he was from the Philippines. So what's everybody been up to? I know about a lot of people have gone to Helen or on their way to Helen or traveling to Helen tomorrow. Danny's going tomorrow. Roxy's already there, I believe. Nothing much. Just got to pack, eh? I've seen pictures of a few others have gone. One of these years. Right, Scott? One of these years we'll get there. It's on my travel bucket list over there. Helen, Georgia meetup. Got to get to Nova Scotia. Go to my brother's. Alaska cruise on NCL. Someday. I don't know when that's going to be. HH4C 2028 cruise. Need to do an ABC cruise. Maybe in time when things settle down, I'll get back to Cuba, and my oldest wants to go back to the zoo in Toronto, which I went to 2 years ago with me and Steve, but we only did about half of it because it is huge. I think it's like 100 acres. And they just had a new baby giraffe at the zoo this year. You were going to go this year, but yeah, you went on that cruise instead. I know, too many things coming up and try to work things out. I had a chance to go last year and I should have gone. I'm kicking my butt, but had a chance to go last year and go to Megan Paul's wedding. Some other stuff was up at the same time that I couldn't leave. Same stuff is kind of coming up in April, but I'm going to be more prepared for this time. I was said with anybody that Big Bro and his sister-in-law made put an offer, but the house wasn't on the market. Or accepted the offer. It was nice. Like I said, coming up in April, we're doing a book club, probably once a month, on this book, Be Your Own Bestie, by Misha Brown. He is a influencer, podcast host, performer who shot to spotlight on TikTok, and he's also on YouTube. He's on YouTube under Misha. He's also on Facebook under Misha, but also under Don't Cross a Gay Man. But it's a no-nonsense guide to changing the way you treat yourself. And since I'm focusing on kindness this year, including kindness to myself, I wanted to look into this. He has a little mantra on the back here. And the letters are letters spell out sass. So I go through that. But he's got onto the New York bestsellers list. He is very humble. He's been in tears because he didn't think that would happen that fast. He's also got a beautiful voice if you look him up on YouTube. Just under Misha. And he trained in theater, I believe. He sings a lot of show tunes. And that is, yep. So May or June they move in. Nice. You know, I kick my butt now that I sold the house. I look around here and I'm going, I wish I miss having a yard. We used to have a fire pit in the backyard. Don't have a fire pit anymore. It was just like the house I want to see sell right now is my oldest, so they can move back into town. They stopped by the other night because my youngest made chili last weekend. Called up his siblings, or messaged his siblings going, I made chili. I put one aside for you. So they both showed up to pick up chili this week. So it was good to see them, but they are coming on Sunday for dinner for Trevor's birthday, which is not till Wednesday, but I'll have them over for dinner. Lasagna, cake, making the flourless chocolate cake for myself. For the second attempt, the first one, the buyers went higher on the first. Yeah, that was happened to my oldest when they were shopping for houses 3 years ago. So 3 years, or we're coming up onto 4. I shake my head because the houses I looked to here in town, some of them were not in their price range, or they're going to make an offer and somebody put in higher. So when they found this little community, but half an hour away called Wallaceburg, they went way over asking price, and now they split up, divorced. She's moved on, and Nikki's left behind to try to sell the house, and they've already reduced the price, and they had re-signed with the same real estate person. I think that contract came out last month, so I'm hoping, I didn't ask the other night, but hoping they'll go with another real estate person, because I don't think the real estate person they had, which was the same person when they bought the house, so I don't think she's trying too hard. It's costing Nikki a fortune in gas going back and forth. Also paying mortgage payments and utilities and all that stuff. Your house value went up last month. That's good. Probably a lot of the work you did on it too. increase the value. It's been a while since we chatted there, Busby, but I'm glad to see that improved for you. Like the pictures you've been sharing, the work is never done right. Like the pictures you shared on the city, the old buildings that were in the. You're still alive. I love the pictures you shared of the old buildings that had been on the site where your house is. That was interesting. Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think of what said the building was. Was it like a post office or a bank or something? It was quite cool. Searching for photos for 2 years. And I think the closest we'd find here might be something at our library that might have historical stuff. But post office and beauty salon. Very cool. No, it's interesting to find old pictures. I have one aerial picture of our when my dad's family came over from Scotland, and they had the farm that they settled on. I have an aerial picture somewhere of it, and then I had 2 uncles and an aunt that never married, and they stayed on that farm until the 2 of them passed away, and then the last uncle ended up in a nursing home, and I think people across the road or people beside them, I think it was across the road, bought the farm, but they didn't tear down the house until after he passed. And that was quite interesting, because I just happened to be out that way, and I was like, I got a picture of the house before it got torn down. I remember being there. I remember going out to the farm when I was little too. A picture of my Uncle Earl holding me up in the barn looking at a cow or something. Property dates back to 1879. I don't know where my thing went. I know I had the family tree thing up on this shelf over here, but it was the 1800s when they came across from Nairn, Scotland, and my grandfather, I think, was born on the farm. They had a lot of property, and that was the one thing I kicked my arse about selling the house. We had a maple tree in the front yard. It must have been a hard type of maple, because that tree was planted in our front yard in 1969, and it was maybe that big around when I sold the house. And the people that bought the house cut it down. It's like, it was right in the middle of the yard. It was a beautiful maple tree. There's 2 crappy maple trees over on the side that came from something else. My dad just kind of stuck in there that are like this big around, and branches already come down and narrowly missed the house. And the big one is too close to the house. Like, I'm sure the roots are gonna, but nope, they cut this one down from the farm, and it was like, I was really tempted. I drove by just after they cut it down, and there was logs on laying on the lawn. I was tempted to go over and grab one of the logs and make something out of it, but I didn't. And now they have all kinds of crap planted in the front lawn, all kinds of little trees going right up all it. I don't know. I don't think I have a picture in here. I keep saying I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a before and after thing. The willow tree is still standing, but it's sketchy at best. The neighbors, when we were in the house, Scouting in Canada did this fundraiser for the longest time. It was called Trees for Canada, and you'd get people to sponsor you, and how many trees you plant, and we go, different scouting groups will go out and they plant in a certain area. Well, Dad brought home a few trees, and like the two silver maples he stuck in the front yard, and then he stuck he stuck a cedar in between them, but we ended up cutting down the cedars because they were rotting. And then he had a black walnut one he stuck in the backyard, but he stuck it too close to the fence. So when I moved out, the two silver maples and the black walnut were still there. And the black walnut, that was the messiest tree. It dropped walnuts every year in the yard. You're picking up these walnuts and they're staining your hands. It's gross. But right behind that yard, a neighbor around the corner, their yard went all the way back behind our yard. And they at one time had a huge willow tree. It was fun because we used to play hide and seek and hide underneath the willow tree in their backyard. 3 pecan trees and 2 apple trees. That would be cool. Like, but the walnuts would be good if we had been able to dry them out and shell them and all that stuff. But most times they just end up go rotting and pick them up. And I don't know where they end up going. If they ended up going in smaller garbage bags or something out to the road, and it used to be every other year, and then the last few years it was like every year the stupid things would fall. And they were like, the walnuts were like this big around, like in the shell. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I wanted to get that one cut down and sell the wood because black walnut is expensive wood. But as far as I know, I think that one's still standing in the backyard. I know the other 2 are standing in the front yard, and we had an oak tree in the backyard that came from the farm too, but it got some kind of disease and my dad cut it down. Give the pecans away because his wife is allergic to them. I know a few people that are allergic to pecans. I like pecans in certain things. I'm not one. Well, I do. I do eat them too. I shouldn't say I don't eat them, but I do eat them just themselves. But I have Christmas cookies, which I didn't make this year, that have pecans and red and green candied cherries. And I don't make a lot of things with nuts because, especially when it comes to like Christmas baking, because my cousin is allergic to all kinds of nuts, and it was just a thing growing up. We didn't bake stuff with nuts in it because she was highly allergic. Anyhow, I'm going to go grab something to eat and hopefully get back up here so I can watch the 2 captains at 9. Thanks for coming in, everybody. And I'm not sure what's next week. Day after Trevor's birthday. Not sure what's up yet. Need to get March planned out. Thanks for coming in, Busby. Nice to chat with you after a while. I will see you all next week. Same time, same place. Yeah, I'm going to have one in April. I might have to either do it on the road or move the time earlier when I go to pick up my cousin. But thanks for coming in. I'll try to get a schedule out for the rest of the month. Can't make any promises. See you later. Bye for now. Love you guys.